the captain of my soul. William Ernest Henley. My own self-exploration and intrinsic motivations led me to becoming a social worker, a husband, and a father. As a social worker, one of my ethical responsibilities to the people I work with and for is to respect and promote the right of self-determination. In psychology, self-determination theory suggests that people can become self-determined when their needs for autonomy, competence, and human connection are fulfilled. A self-described Black, lesbian, mother, warrior poet, Audre Lorde dedicated both her life and creative talent to confronting and addressing injustices of racism, sexism, classism, and homophobia. She said during a speech at Harvard University in 1982, "If I didn't define myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive." In my life, it starts with autonomy, which starts with defining who I am and always asking myself, why not me? That free, always accessible, empowering, positive self-talk that reinforces that autonomous feeling of control. I am always working to understand and refine who I am through continuous and intentional reflection and self-exploration. I celebrate my intrinsic motivations while working to recognize and accept those inevitable extrinsic motivators. I practice self-awareness and self-regulation through meditation at home and in nature, breath work, physical activity, and recognizing what moves me and why. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Ernest Hemingway. To develop competence, I try to combine the curiosity of youth with the diligence of age. I ask questions, listen, read, and observe with an open mind to be a better partner, father, social worker, friend, son, sibling, human. What I learn from my wife and son on a daily basis about myself and who I want to be is immeasurable and guides me in what I want to be more competent in. Ubuntu, a South African phrase meaning I am because we are, or I am because you are. For human connection, I turn to my family, to my friends, to you all. My wife and I joined the UU congregation 4 years ago to cultivate social and spiritual relationships with people that were also devoted to self-determination on a micro and macro level. Thank you for who you are, for who we are. In a letter to his daughter away at boarding school in England, W.E.B. Du Bois touched on the 3 aspects of self-determination at the end of his letter when he wrote, "Read some good, heavy, serious books just for discipline. Take yourself in hand and master yourself." He ended the letter with, "Above all, remember, your Father loves you and believes in you." Autonomy, competence, connection, self-determination. I try every day to learn, to love, to believe in myself and everyone I connect with, and in doing so, I work toward my own and everyone's intrinsic right to self-determination. I hope something in my reflection inspires you to reflect and embody the principle of Kujichagulia in your life. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm the other Reggie. I'm Reggie Gordon. Ujima, the third principle, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. My life goal is to live this principle. Although I did not use the term Ujima, I learned the essence of the principle at home and at church growing up, and I have chosen to do work that aligns with this. And of course, that is why I'm a member of this beloved community here at First UU, because you are my tribe. We have shared principles and values and an authentic respect for all humanity. At the same time, as a black man, because I am a black man, I feel that I must do all that I can to help other black people move forward. It is heart-wrenching to see so many black people struggling to thrive in our society, in our city. I know I'm not the only black man who feels this way. We need to work together, to pull together, to help our people find pathways to success. That is the principle of Ujima. I have good news. Black men have embraced the call here in Richmond. 10 years ago, two black male friends who were also nonprofit leaders at that time, Robert Dortch and Damon Jiggets, and I, sat down and compared notes about the clients we served and the people who were our donors. Most of our clients were black, and most of our donors were white. We did not like those optics. We decided to put a call to other black men in Richmond and ask them to donate $1,100 each, pooling money together to start an annual Black Male Giving Circle through the Community Foundation. We created the Ujima Legacy Fund. The Ujima Legacy Fund primarily provides grants funding to nonprofits that empower youth through education-related initiatives. Over the 10 years, now it's 2023, we have more than 75 black men who've contributed a total of $500,000 to deserving nonprofits by way of the Ujima Legacy Fund. So success. I do have one poignant story that underscores the need for the Ujima Legacy Fund. A few years ago, the Ujima men voted to award $20,000 to a nonprofit serving youth in the Mosby area. We organized a check presentation event at the nonprofit's location in Mosby. 20 or so Ujima men showed up to present the big check to the nonprofit. We purposefully asked the nonprofit to include the families and their children that they served at the event. We took photos and we celebrated together. Afterwards, we had a food truck outside as part of the reception. My wife, Rashida, was standing outside near the food truck and near some of the children, black children, who were part of the grantees program. She asked them, "Do you know what just happened? Do you know what's going on today? Do you know who gave you the money?" The children responded, "Yeah, some white man." So even with us standing in front of the room with an oversized check in hand, those young children could not process that this time the money, the support, and the love came from men who looked like them. That is why we need to embrace Ujima as a principle. We need to model the behavior. We need our black youth to expect that they too will grow up to be philanthropists and give back to the community. If you're a black man who is not in Ujima, or you have a black male friend or relative who is not in Ujima, please direct them toward the Ujima Legacy Fund website. This is a black male call to action. Happy Kwanzaa.
Good morning. I have the pleasure, based on the direction and encouragement of Reverend Sherman Z. Logan Jr., to speak on the fourth day and the fourth principle of the 7 principles on Ojama, which is the cooperative economics. It was a very appropriate one for me since most of my early career and my corporate career was involved in some aspects of handling money, managing money, chasing down money, from my stewardships in different churches on stewardship boards. So I feel that I am somewhat qualified to talk about and encouraging all individuals to embrace the fourth principle, and that one of how we spend our money and how we give our money in terms of to causes and missions that we can embrace. It teaches us from this principle that the essential principles and aspects and practices of shared work and shared health and wealth is very important in our world. The earth belongs to all of us equally, and all of us cannot say that we can possess it, but we can share it and share the resources and be responsible in terms of stewardship for what we do. The good of the world and the good in the world that we embrace can be shared and be part of our heritage that we can then share and pass on to those in our families and certainly the next generation. We hold this as responsible people on this planet and as humans on this planet, the trust and the transmission of the sacred legacy that we have for the future that we share in terms of the heritage that we have on this principle. Growing up in Blacksburg, Virginia, on the southwestern part of the state, yeah, there is a southwestern part of Virginia. It's just not northern Virginia and Tidewater in this area. There isn't another section in Virginia where some of us come from. Growing up as I did in that area, not a lot of African Americans in that area for many of you that have been out there. Certainly there's a huge universities and other universities there that I was privileged to have attended. But I will tell you that from that standpoint, there are very few African American businesses there unless you go to Roanoke. I would also share with you that the opportunity to embrace this particular principle was not as prevalent for me growing up. But in my corporate life and traveling and living in different cities like Chicago, New York, and certainly now in Richmond, the access is very prevalent. It gives me and my wife a great opportunity to share this principle. And as my grandmother used to say, there are two kinds of people in the world, the givers and the takers. Which one are you? And so we have always embraced giving and sharing. So it's very appropriate for us in a year now that we've been here since moving from Williamsburg UU to First UU here, that we have a lot of opportunity to embrace this particular principle and be very giving and supportive of African American businesses and services and opportunities to spread this, but also in our own families as I reflect on it. We're always trying to encourage our nieces, nephews, our grandkids to be wise about how you spend your money. Live below your means. Do not get yourself enslaved into credit card debt and lose your freedom. Be very thoughtful and be very intentional in what you do and how you spend your money. So I will share with you in ending this particular principle that we have a responsibility as members of this congregation to support the mission and the direction that we are pursuing to make this place, this great place that we are in each and every Sunday, and some much more than that, to make certain that we live and support financially the mission of this organization. So Principle 4, Ojama, we will, on the fourth day of the 7 days of Kwanza, I wanted to share that with you this morning. So thank you for listening.
Good morning. My name is Reginald Henderson. I am the son of Edward Douglas Henderson Sr. and Catherine Virginia Cooper. When I was asked to speak about purpose as one of the principles of Kwanzaa, I was also asked to say something about how purpose is manifested in your life. When you think about purpose, what's important to you? Is it meaningful enough for you to act on it? Just think about it. Every person has an ability or a talent or interest, and it's not necessary to be like somebody else, but just to be like you. So to act on your given purpose, it becomes really real in your life. One might have several purposes. I know for me, anyone who knows me know that I sing. So that is a purpose for me. And it just gives me so much joy to sing. I love it. I can't not do it. And I sing, and it is so gratifying to comfort people and to evoke thought, and it's just, and to encourage. And so that's why I do it. It's not necessary to be like somebody else, like I want to be great, like Nelson Mandela or Mother Teresa, Rosa Parks. Just be you. And this universe is going to throw you some opportunities. So it's up to us to recognize it and take advantage of it. Ashe? Amen.
Good morning. I am Judith Collins Alexander. I'm a Virginia native, a native of the Tidewater area of Virginia. And like several others, when Reverend Sherman gave me my assignment, he gave me kuumba, which means creativity, and I went, not too creative here. I don't know why you gave me this one, but I took it and went with it. Basically, kuumba, the principle of kuumba, is saying that we should use our God-given talents to lead the community in a more beautiful and beneficial way than it was when we inherited this place. And that means that I can do things like lessen my use and dependence on things that are polluting the earth and just really messing it up, and also helping to clean up what has already been done. That's one of the things I can do to help this community that I live in. In addition, one of the things that I can do to help my African American community and the community at large is to illuminate the history of African and African American people, and to illuminate our contributions to the world in general, and show the world that we've done more than just, there's a little list that we sometimes have out front that I've seen in other places. It's more than just that little list. For instance, I mentioned in the first service about Mr. Picasso. He learned that disjointed style that he has. He got that from spending time on the African continent, because that is a style that came directly from the African continent. Then he took it back, and now the influence is worldwide. Another influence that's more recent, we just came through a pandemic where we had a lot of talk about vaccines. I don't know if you know it, but that style of vaccine where we use the weakened form of the virus, that also came from the African continent. So as you can see, the creativity of the continent is worldwide. It's very invasive throughout the world, and we're still using those things. So that was one of the creative things that we can do, is to show people the creativity that did come out of the African continent, and how pervasive it is in the world cultures and the world in general. So I give you kuumba.
And please rise in body or in spirit and let us sing our congregational hymn, 107 in the Till hymnums, There's a River Flowing in My Soul. I assign myself the seventh principle. Imani, the seventh and final principle of Kwanzaa. It represents the essence of faith. This principle reminds us as African Americans that even in difficult times, it is essential to maintain faith in our shared values and the possibility of a better future for our personal growth and our struggle for justice and freedom in developing community. Imani called for Black people to believe in themselves, our ancestors, our leaders, our communities, and our capacity to bring about a better society to the world. It is a commitment to all that is good and beautiful in life. Now, when I think about faith, I am reminded of a powerful hymn that we sang at our Baptist church as a child. Now, some of you who grew up as Baptists might have heard this hymn. We have come this far by faith. And the hymn started with these lyrics. We have come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in his holy word. He has never failed me yet. Singing, oh, 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 can't turn around. We've come this far by faith. These lyrics, written by Albert Goodson, affirm that Black people whose ancestors who had to endure the horrors of slavery, Jim Crow and his prodigy, James Crow Esquire, discrimination, segregation, separate but equal education, housing restriction, And you know I can keep going on and on and on and on for the rest of my time up here. But still, the lyrics up to this beloved hymn affirm God's saving power in the past, as well as giving hope for the future. The message that's with confidence and faith in the Lord help we can go forward and face whatever lies ahead continues to resonate to this day. And although there has been progress in the Black community over the years, our struggle continues. However, our faith will guide us through. Now, my theology has evolved since my days as a Baptist, and I don't believe in the saving power of God, but still I do believe in the saving power of love and have faith in the power of love that we have for each other that inspire us to come together to make this world a better place, not only for us who are here with us today, but it's also a commitment to make this world a better place for the next generation. So when I reflect on the principles of Imani, I think about the faith my ancestors had in their creators, the faith that made a way out of no way, the faith that upheld their dignity during times when they were treated less than, the faith in the struggle that determined their destiny. I think about the faith my elders have in me, my potential, and my dreams. I think about faith in myself, my abilities, and my goals. I think about our faith in each other's and our families and the solidarity and unity that binds us together. Civil rights activist Mary McLeod Bethune said, "Without faith, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible." Now, beloved, faith is not a passive or blind acceptance of things as they are, but a dynamic and active engagement with things as they can be. Faith is not a surrender to fate, but a change is shaped by destiny. Faith is not a retreat from reality, but a confrontation with it. Faith is not a denial of our problems, but a search for a solution. Faith is not a weakness, but a strength. And even in challenging times, faith can be a powerful force for unity, progress, and a world of change. So you see, faith becomes a guiding light for shaping our action and our purpose. And as we strive to follow the principles of Imani, we must cultivate faith in ourselves, our families, and our community, and the future. And this will require a deliberate commitment to believe and a conscious effort to infuse faith in our daily action. Following the Imani principles also demand that we embody a spirit of hope, perseverance, and collective faith. It transforms faith from a passive belief to an active force for positive change within ourselves and the beloved community. So in essence, faith is an invisible thread that weaves through the fabric of our lives, connecting us to a realm of possibilities and guiding us through the intricate tapestry of our existence. And faith is perhaps one of the most profound expressions of the human spirit. May this be so.
Raising our children and recognizing the value of every human being. Is this on? Nope. Test, test. It's been made popular by a group called Sweet Honey in the Rock. There's seven of them, but James and I are going to do our best with the two of us. Hang on a second. Indab, my children, my children. Indab, my children. Indab, Indama, my children. God has sent us, you beautiful young ones, in answer to our prayers. We will guide you through life journeys. You are the answer that we all share. And no matter that, no, you should know, we are your elders. We want you to know that we believe in you. And no matter, there is one thing you should know. We are your elders. We want you to know that we believe in you. Life will hand you a number of challenges. Some call them obstacles. We call them stepping stones. Sometimes you know that you have succeeded. Sometimes you feel that you have failed. And no matter, there is one thing you should know. We are your elders. We want you to know that we believe in you. And no matter, there is one thing you should know. We are your elders. We want you to know that we believe in you. Cocoon, cocoon, cocoon. Cocoon, 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 cocoon. Cocoon, cocoon, cocoon. That we believe in you.
Dee and James. As part of our tradition, we have designated December as Share the Plate offering to go towards the Minister Discretionary Fund. This fund is a critical resource that allows us to provide assistance to those in need of the basic necessities, such as rent, food, or utilities. And your generous donation help our minister provide confidential aid to individuals and families who are experiencing financial hardships and emergency. So I want to thank you all and express my gratitude for your generosity throughout the month of December. And once again, we welcome and appreciate any amount that you can give. Your contribution will make a difference in the lives of those who need it the most. And now offering will be taken and most graciously received. Before I give the closing words, I'd like to thank all the participants in our service this morning. Thank all of you for graciously accepting the assignments, even you, Charlene. I want to thank our musicians, Reggie, James, and Margaret is a last-minute replacement. Jamie was here at our first service, but unfortunately she got ill, so we called Margaret like, what time, Margaret? About 9:30. So thank you so much. And please rise in body and spirit, and I give these closing words from a mentor, an ancestor, and a friend to many Unitarians and Universalist people of color, the late Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson. We are one. We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence, but because we choose to journey together. We are active and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best as we can. We are one, working, eating, laughing, playing, singing, storytelling, sharing, and rejoicing, getting to know each other, taking risks, opening up, questioning, seeking, searching, trying to understand, struggling, making mistakes, paying attention, asking questions, listening, living our answers, learning to love our neighbors, learning to love ourselves, apologizing and forgiving with humility, and being forgiven through grace, creating the beloved community together. We are one. And let us sing our closing hymn 149 and our great hymnals, Lift Every Voice and Sing.